Vikings, Chapter 3. Viking Warriors. Weapons, armor, and the truth behind the legends. In Chapter 2, we discovered how the Vikings built their incredible longships and traveled across Europe, the North Atlantic, and even North America. Today, we will explore one of the most famous parts of Viking history, the Viking warriors. Movies often show Vikings as fearless fighters wearing horned helmets and carrying huge axes. But how much of this is really true? What weapons did they use? How did they prepare for battle? And did they really wear helmets with horns? Let's discover the truth.
Thus,
Who became a Viking warrior? Not every Viking was a warrior. Most Vikings were farmers, fishermen, traders, or craftsmen. However, when danger threatened their community, many free men could join the local fighting force. Some also chose the life of a professional warrior. They trained to protect their families, villages, and leaders. For many young men, becoming a warrior was a way to earn honor, wealth, and respect. Viking weapons. Viking warriors used many different weapons. The most common weapon was the spear. It was less expensive than a sword and could be used for both throwing and close combat. Another famous weapon was the battle axe. Axes were powerful and practical because many Vikings already used similar tools in everyday life. Some warriors carried swords. A sword was valuable because making one required excellent metalworking skills. Only wealthier Vikings could usually afford fine swords. Many warriors also carried knives, which were useful both in battle and in daily life. The Viking shield. One of the most important pieces of Viking equipment was the round shield. Most shields were made from wood with a metal boss in the center to protect the hand. Many were painted with bright colors or simple patterns. The shield protected the warrior from arrows, swords, and axes. Vikings also fought together by standing side by side with their shields. This created a strong defensive line known as a shield wall. The shield wall made it much harder for enemies to break through. Did Vikings wear horned helmets? Many people believe Vikings wore helmets with large horns. This idea is very popular in movies and cartoons. However, historians have found no strong evidence that Viking warriors wore horned helmets in battle. Real Viking helmets were simple and practical. They were usually made of iron and designed to protect the head. Large horns would have made fighting more difficult. The famous horned helmet is mostly a modern myth. Viking armor. Most Viking warriors did not wear heavy armor. Good armor was expensive. Many fought wearing thick wool or leather clothing. Wealthier warriors sometimes wore chainmail, a shirt made from thousands of small iron rings linked together. Chainmail protected the body while still allowing movement. Some also wore iron helmets and carried large shields. The combination of shield, helmet, and chainmail gave experienced warriors good protection. Viking battle tactics. The Vikings were brave, but they were also clever. Before a battle, leaders planned carefully. The shield wall allowed warriors to defend one another. Archers attacked from a distance. Spearmen and swordsmen moved forward together. The Vikings often used surprise, speed, and teamwork instead of fighting without a plan. Good leadership was just as important as courage. Training and discipline. Young Vikings learned many useful skills while growing up. They practiced hunting, rowing, riding horses, and using simple weapons. Experienced warriors taught younger fighters how to protect themselves and work as a team. Strong discipline helped Viking groups survive difficult battles and long journeys. Berserkers, fact and legend. You may have heard about the berserkers. According to old stories, berserkers fought with great courage and seemed fearless in battle. Some historical sources describe them as entering a powerful fighting state. However, historians continue to debate how much of these stories is historical fact and how much belongs to legend. Because the evidence is limited, we cannot be certain about every detail. Honor and loyalty. For the Vikings, honor was very important. A good warrior was expected to be brave, loyal, and honest. Keeping promises mattered. Helping family and friends was respected. A warrior who protected the community earned admiration. These values were an important part of Viking society, more than fighters. Although Viking warriors became famous, they represented only one part of Viking life. After battles, many returned to farming, fishing, trading, or building ships. Their everyday lives were often peaceful. The Vikings were builders, explorers, merchants, and skilled craftsmen. In Chapter 4, we will leave the battlefield and explore everyday Viking life. What did Viking families eat? How did children grow up? What were their homes like? Vikings. Vikings, Chapter 4. Viking daily life. Families, homes, food, and traditions. Learn English through history A2B1. Hello everyone! Welcome back to Learn Easy English. In Chapter 3, we explored the world of Viking warriors, their weapons, armor, and battle tactics. Today, we will discover a different side of Viking life. Most Vikings were not fighting every day. Instead, they spent their time farming, fishing, building homes, raising children, and trading with other people. Their daily lives were full of hard work, family traditions. Viking families. Family was the center of Viking life. Most families lived together in large wooden houses called longhouses. Sometimes grandparents, parents, children, and relatives all shared one home. Every family member had an important job. Men often farmed, hunted, built ships, or traveled to trade. Women managed the home, prepared meals, made clothing, cared for animals, and looked after children. Children also worked from a young age. They helped feed animals, collect firewood, carry water, and learn useful skills. Everyone worked together to help the family survive. The Viking longhouse. The longhouse was warm and practical. It was usually built from wood, stone, and turf. The roof was often covered with grass. Inside, there was one large room with a fireplace in the center. The fire provided warmth, light, and a place for cooking. Smoke escaped through an opening in the roof. People slept on wooden benches covered with blankets, wool, or animal skins. During very cold winters, some farm animals stayed in a separate section of the longhouse to help protect them from freezing weather. Although Viking homes were simple, they were comfortable for their time. What did Vikings eat? The Viking diet depended on the seasons and where people lived. They ate bread made from barley or oats. Fish was one of their most important foods. They also ate beef, pork, lamb, chicken, cheese, butter, eggs, vegetables, berries, apples, and nuts. Honey was used to make food sweeter. People drank water, milk, and sometimes a drink made from fermented honey called mead. Because winters were long, families dried, smoked, salted, or stored food so they would have enough to eat until spring. Clothing and jewelry. The Vikings made most of their own clothing. They used wool from sheep and linen from plants. Men usually wore tunics, trousers, belts, cloaks, and leather shoes. Women often wore long dresses with beautiful brooches to hold their clothes together. In winter, people wore warm fur cloaks. Many Vikings also enjoyed wearing jewelry made from silver, bronze, amber, or glass. Rings, necklaces, bracelets, and brooches showed both beauty and skill. Farming and animals. Farming was very important. Many Viking families owned fields and animals. They raised cows, sheep, goats, pigs, horses, and chickens. Animals provided milk, meat, wool, leather, and transportation. Farmers worked from early morning until evening. Every season brought different jobs. Spring was for planting. Summer was for caring for crops. Autumn was the time to harvest food. Winter was spent repairing tools, weaving clothes, and preparing for the next year. Viking crafts. The Vikings were excellent craftsmen. Blacksmiths made swords, axes, knives, and farming tools. Carpenters built houses and ships. Potters made cooking pots. Weavers produced warm clothing. Jewelry makers created beautiful decorations. Many Viking objects discovered by archaeologists show impressive artistic designs that are still admired today. Festivals and celebrations. The Vikings enjoyed gathering together. They celebrated successful harvests, important family events, and religious festivals. Music, dancing, storytelling, and shared meals brought people together. Poets called skalds entertained guests by telling stories about heroes, kings, and the Norse gods. These stories helped preserve Viking history before many of them were written down. Education and learning. Viking children did not attend schools like many children today. Instead, they learned from their parents and other adults. Boys and girls both learned practical skills. They discovered how to cook, farm, fish, build, sew, and care for animals. Older children practiced sailing, rowing, hunting, and trading. Learning happened every day through experience. Laws and community. The Vikings believed that communities needed rules. People met at special gatherings called things. At these meetings, leaders and local people discussed problems, solved disagreements, and made important decisions. These gatherings helped keep peace within the community. Everyone was expected to respect the decisions that were made. A strong community. Life was not always easy. Cold winters, storms, and poor harvests created many challenges. Because of this, cooperation was very important. Each sentence can be long if the input requires it, but must not exceed 30 words. If a sentence is longer, split it into 2 or more natural sentences without altering the content. Vikings. Vikings. Chapter 5. Viking gods and Norse mythology. Odin, Thor, Loki, and Valhalla. Learn English through history A2B1. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Learn Easy English. In Chapter 4, we discovered how Viking families lived, worked, and celebrated together. Today, we will explore one of the most fascinating parts of Viking culture, Norse mythology. The Vikings believed in powerful gods, magical creatures, and an exciting world full of adventure. These stories helped people understand nature, explain the seasons, and teach important lessons about courage, wisdom, and honor. Many of these ancient stories are still famous today. Let's begin. What is Norse mythology? Norse mythology is the collection of stories and beliefs followed by the Vikings before Christianity became common in Scandinavia. The Vikings believed that many gods controlled different parts of the world. They believed the gods could help people, but they could also become angry. Because of this, the Vikings respected and honored their gods through traditions and ceremonies. Odin, the wise king. The most important god was Odin. Odin was known as the king of the gods. He was associated with wisdom, knowledge, poetry, and leadership. According to Norse stories, Odin was always searching for greater knowledge. He was often shown carrying a spear called Gungnir, and was accompanied by 2 ravens named Hugin and Munin, whose names are commonly translated as thought and memory. The ravens flew around the world and brought information back to Odin. Thor, the god of thunder. Perhaps the most famous Viking god today is Thor. Thor was the god of thunder, lightning, storms, and strength. He carried a magical hammer called Mjolnir. According to the legends, whenever Thor threw his hammer, it always returned to his hand. Many Vikings wore small hammer-shaped pendants as symbols of protection and courage. Even today, Thor remains one of the best-known figures from Norse mythology. Loki, the trickster. Another famous figure was Loki. Unlike Odin and Thor, Loki was known for his cleverness and unpredictable behavior. Sometimes he helped the gods. At other times, he caused serious problems. Many Norse stories describe Loki using intelligence, tricks, and surprising ideas. Because of this, he became one of the most interesting characters in Viking mythology. Freya, the goddess of love. Freya was one of the most respected goddesses. She was connected with love, beauty, nature, and fertility. Some stories also describe Freya as a brave and powerful figure. Many Vikings admired her wisdom and kindness. She became one of the most important female figures in Norse mythology. Valhalla. The Vikings believed that brave warriors who died in battle could be welcomed into Valhalla. According to tradition, Valhalla was a magnificent hall ruled by Odin. There, honored warriors prepared for the final great battle known in Norse mythology as Ragnarok. The idea of Valhalla encouraged courage and loyalty among many Viking warriors. Yggdrasil, the world tree. One of the most important symbols in Norse mythology was Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil was described as a giant tree connecting different worlds. According to the legends, gods, humans, and many other beings were connected through this great tree. It symbolized life, nature, and the connection between all living things. Runes. The Vikings also used a special writing system called runes. Runes were carved into wood, stone, bone, and metal. They were used to write names, messages, and important information. Some Vikings also believed runes had symbolic or magical meaning. Today, archaeologists continue to discover runic inscriptions that help us understand Viking history, from myth to modern culture. Although the Viking Age ended many centuries ago, Norse mythology continues to inspire people today. Books, films, television series, video games, and artwork often include Odin, Thor, Loki, and other legendary figures. Modern stories are inspired by Norse mythology, but they are not always the same as the original Viking traditions.